Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I will be reviewing the S.H.Figuarts Jiren as well as the S.H.Figuarts Full Power Jiren, both the standard P Bandai release as well as the event exclusive release. So this will be another triple review, and it will be a continuation of the videos that I've been doing lately, covering a lot of the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball Super stuff, because I might as well sort of do it in bulk, especially if a character is a double up or event exclusive. If there's shared stuff to talk about, might as well talk about it in one video, and I can slowly but surely get through the entirety of the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts line in reviews at some point. Now, Jiren is an interesting character because I never really cared all that much about him, and like his powers were cool, he was ridiculously strong, he was a good match for Goku and everything like that. He was definitely a massive wall to climb and overcome, but his design felt so boring to me. He was just a big bulky dude in, superhero spandex and like placeholder face. It was this round grayish purple face with black eyes and just looked like generic-ish alien, and I felt like that was just a strange thing, and just he always felt like a placeholder to me. His design just didn't feel very iconic. As he went full power, he looked a little bit more interesting, but even then it was just like the superhero spandex had just torn off, so it's just big bulky alien looking guy. And like characters like Toppo or Dispo, they had a little bit more going for them, especially sort of like Dispo looking like sort of what we would assume is Beerus's race, and like you can explore that a little bit more. There's something interesting going on there. And Toppo, he had a slightly more interesting design, had a lot more backstory, and his whole sort of thing was just different, and felt like he could have sort of like been a better antagonistic role during the Tournament of Power. While he did play a counter role in it, it's just that he could have probably been the major thing instead of like, sort of splitting it to be Jiren as the eventual and ultimate power in that tournament. It just felt like he didn't get as much attention as some of the others did, but his power scaling definitely did. That's just my thing. I've only ever seen Super once the whole way through, so my opinion might change if I watch it again, but that was just the sort of idea that I got out of it while I was watching originally. And while I love Dragon Ball Z and watch it, to completion semi-regularly, I just never felt the compulsion to go back to Super. And not that it was bad or anything, it's just that like Z was better, and I think there's a lot of nostalgia in there that I grew up with, and just Jiren doesn't feel like he stands on the same level as a lot of like other villains that Z and even Super had before. He's a interesting enough character to get figurines and have a place in video games and extra media and everything like that. I just feel like there could have been more, at least design-wise, for him. Anyway, that was way too much of a waffle on to introduce this review. So today we'll be looking at 3 Jiren S.H.Figuarts, 1 being his regular state and 2 being his full power battle damaged state. These are pretty much the only figures they've done of Jiren. He's had like a Kuji figure and a few prize figures here or there and some small like miniature keychains and things, but similar to a lot of the other super characters, just not a lot of figurines or general representation, which is just a strange part of just all of Super's merchandising. I'm sure there's reasons for it, but it's always seemed strange that like the best way to get figurines of Tournament of Power characters or just Super Tournament, any sort of like main Super arc, it's S.H.Figuarts. Whereas for like a lot of other series, you could rely on multiple companies tackling it, but it just seems strange that Tamashii Nations are pretty much the only ones fleshing out the full cast. Anyway, as these figures share a lot in common with each other, there will be quite a bit of overlap as well as, shortening of sections, just because the legs are the same between all of the Jirens, so I won't really be going through those. But the torsos are slightly different, so I will be talking about that. But in general, they are very similar with one another. They share very similar traits, but there are some differences here or there. So first off, the standard Jiren, which is how we first see him in the Tournament of Power. He comes with a decent amount of accessories. So we've got the figure itself, he's got 4 faces, a folded arms accessory, he's got 2 energy effects, so it's like a swappable fist as well as like an actual effect that you put over his hand. So you can use them in conjunction with each other or singularly, it's up to you. He's got several different hands. And he's also got a hand that is technically a faceplate as well for the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, where he's sort of like holding Goku up by his head. And it is a cool accessory. It's kind of hard to pull off, but it is a cool accessory to have. Then for full power Jiren, the loadout is the same between the event exclusive and the regular full power one. So the figure itself, 4 faces, an energy effect, as well as several hands. Now, all of these faces are the same on the event exclusive one. The eyes are slightly different, sort of like where the light reflection is in them, but in general the expressions are the same, the energy effect are the same, it's all just a coloring thing. So not too much to talk about there, but both do have a good loadout. It is nice that we have an event exclusive that isn't taking away any accessories, and all things considered, it is probably an upgrade that they've got this event exclusive because he had a particular aura style during that fight, and the event exclusive is trying to replicate that with the glossy finish. But I do prefer the original matte finish just because the matte finish looks really, really nice on the shaded muscles. But taken out of the box and put on a display here are all the Jirens, and you can probably see right from the get-go that the torsos are different between the regular and the battle damaged. Not by a huge amount, like in terms of like actual engineering and everything like that, they are the same, but the sculpt is different. It's sort of like just bulked up a little bit, but it is enough to change the style of the figure as well as the aesthetic. And while I said I don't really care too much for the design, it is like bold, bright, contrasting colors work pretty well. It's always hard to tell what that sort of skin color is for Jiren, because it's like, I've heard people say grey, but it's sort of like got this purple tint to it. So it's like a very, very, very light sort of like lavendery color. At least that's what I think it is. But again, because it's not as like bold as a lot of other characters, it just feels like a placeholder, especially with how, you know, generic and simple Jiren's actual face is. But he's got that sort of like classic Power Ranger-ish Kamen Rider style to him, and I feel like that's probably what Jiren's entire like that superhero force was based on, at least loosely, and he covers those bases pretty well. All of the sculpt work is nice. I do like all of the battle damage that the other 2 Jirens have. It would have been nice if some of that battle damage was actually like, you know, panel lined and shaded and things like that. It's one of those things that you only really see when you're up close, but it is at least nice that the original release Full Power Jiren does have shading on him, just because a lot of the Dragon Ball figures these days have no shading at all or very little paint, and it is nice that this one had at least a little bit of extra effort put in. We'll do a quick size comparison as well. So here are the Jirens next to the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, as well as the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So you can see how they scale. Jiren is noticeably bigger than both of them, which I think is to scale. He's just, you know, like maybe a head or 2 above Goku if you take out his hair. Now, in terms of posability, they're pretty good figures, honestly, especially as pre-owned ones. So we've got a ball joint in the head and neck. It's one of those like thick swappable pegs for swapping the heads, which I actually really, really like. He's got a butterfly joint, which can go in pretty well as well. His arm can rotate all the way around. There's an upper arm swivel and bend at the elbow. Not too good just because it's blocked by the massive muscles. He's got good crunching and maneuverability in the chest, which is nice. He can do the splits that far, kick forward and back that far. He's got a thigh swivel, double bend at the knees, as well as a pivot and hinge and bend at the ankles and toes. It's not the best because it's one of those, you know, 2.0 boot systems where it's somewhat blocked by the actual boot design. So similar thing, ball joint at the head and neck. The arms can butterfly in. It feels like a bit of a better butterfly on this Jiren, honestly. The arms can rotate all the way around. Upper arm swivel, Bend at the elbow, same thing, blocked by the muscles a bit. Ball joint in the chest. It's pretty loose on my copy. All of these Jirens, except for the event exclusive, were pre-owned, so it might be a thing due to age, might be a thing due to them being pre-owned, but yeah, they're a little bit loose in some areas, so it's a little hard to pose them or get them to hold a pose at times. Now, in terms of faces, we get a pretty good amount, especially in terms of swappable accessories, which I'll talk about shortly. So the base Jiren has a neutral stern face out of the box. He's got a mouth open shouting face. He's got a teeth gritted angry face, as well as red out eyes shouting face, which I think is like, I forgot how he used it, but I think it was sort of like a paralyzing aura type power. I don't think it was eye beams or anything like that. I could be wrong. It's like I said, I've only ever seen Super once all the way through. For the full power Jiren, we get a stern, pissed off, battle damaged face. We get a teeth gritted angry face. We get a eyes closed, teeth gritted angry face, as well as a mouth open shouting face. All of these faces look absolutely fantastic. I really like the sculpting on them. And because the neck peg is the same between all of the Jirens, you can use these faces on the original body as well as the original heads on the battle damaged body, which is really nice. Adds, even more variety there. I wouldn't recommend doing it on the event exclusive because the paint style is different, so it would be a noticeable color mismatch between the head and the rest of the body. But all of the faces are the same on the event exclusive. Like I said, I think the shine on the eyes is slightly different, like the spec highlight that they've done, but otherwise they are all the exact same expressions, and they are all good expressions. The eyes closed one, it works as semi-battle damaged or like impact-ish faces. We've evolved since then for even more like direct impact faces, but I think that this was sort of like a test for that. But in any case, it looks funny for like Jiren going to the toilet or something like that. He's really struggling. But with all of those accessories, you can get all of these figures into some pretty good poses. The base set Jiren has a really good variety with the multiple effect parts, the extra hairpiece thing for Goku. It just needs a little extra help to actually support Goku, just because Jiren isn't strong enough to actually hold an entire Figuarts up with just one hand. It'd be cool if he was, but yeah, that's just not plausible, so you need a little extra help. I have heard that the folded arms accessory is quite fragile and it can break the pegs in his arm. I was extra careful with it and didn't notice any problems, so I'm very happy about that. And it looks really nice on him. And in general, I was able to get him into all the poses that I wanted, and even the full power one, I didn't really have too many issues with him. Posed just fine, pairs well with any of the characters from the Tournament of Power. Blue Vegeta, Blue Goku, Ultra Instinct Gokus, just works really nicely, and I had a lot of fun with all of these figures. Like I said, the event exclusive figure is nice with the alternate paint style, and again, not missing any accessories between the original release and the event exclusive is nice, just because usually event exclusives swap around accessories. Sometimes you get some new stuff, sometimes they just eliminate things that they had before and just change the paint style. It is nice that this Jiren is just a different paint style, and all of the accessories, it's the exact same figure, which is really nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm hard at work making new videos for the channel. Now, while I'm happy with where the channel is right now, I could use your help. By liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, it helps out the YouTube algorithm and recommends my channel to more people. So if you like any of my videos, please let me know, it really helps out. And if you liked this one, please let me know too. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate all of you guys.